Hi everyone, welcome to Module 1, and a tiny little caveat that's going to be true throughout the duration of this course. I have an office mate who is a very social miniature Australian Shepherd, and whoever goes by she feels obligated to greet, and sometimes she feels obligated to greet me. So I'm going to keep pushing on. If you hear her, that's Quincy. Just thought I'd let you know. Thank you for sharing your time in this course with me. I'm really excited to get started. Some of you know this is an inaugural course. This is the first course of standards-based assessment, or really any kind of classroom assessment for the secondary level at the undergraduate or the graduate level. And so I'm excited to learn with you. I'm excited to not only pilot the content, but to pilot the content in an online format, which, as you all know, based on your own experience, we weren't planning for this, but we're going to do the best we can. So please know that the entire course will work off of a Google site that I've built, and there are a lot of back-end links happening. I think that they're all live. They might not all be live. I tried to give them all access, but some of them are embedded in places where the sharing settings I might not have caught yet. So thank you in advance for your understanding and grace. I am not an online course designer. I am now, but that's not my training. So if you would please communicate when there's something that isn't working for you, let me know. I'm learning about a new process as you're learning about new content. So I'm happy to be learning with you, and I can't wait. So let's just jump in. This course is about standards-based grading and learning. You might have heard synonyms for standards-based grading. You may have heard competency-based or specifications-based. That's a terminology that's used in higher education. And we're going to work to build a definition as we move through. I was interacting with one of my mentors in the field, Thomas Guskey. You may recognize his name, and Matt Townsley, you may recognize their names. I just reached out to them when I started designing this course around just hundreds of articles and tons of books that I've been reading, trying to get my own head around it for my own practice. And so I reached out to them, and Thomas Guskey told me something really interesting. He said that one of the reasons we're having a hard time moving forward in the paradigm shift in mastery learning and standards-based instruction and grading is that we can't seem to agree what it means. Everyone has a different definition, and everyone finds their special niche in defining it in a unique way. That's not my goal. My goal is for us to come together to be reductionists so that we can understand it and move forward together as colleagues. So I thought it was really interesting that the reason we're struggling really with figuring out why we want to adopt these ideas and what we want to adopt and how we want to adopt it is that we can't first agree on a definition. So we're going to set that aside. We're not even going to try to do that. We're going to focus on why. Why should we move towards mastery learning and a standards-based learning and instruction environment? How should we do that, and what should be the steps? That really is the outcome of the summative assessment, and that's where we're going. In Module 1, we're going to focus a little bit more on the why. Why is it necessary to consider a standards-based learning environment based on the literature? Everything that we will read and talk about and comment on and collect our ideas around and critique and ask questions about will be what has been provided in the literature based on studies that are ongoing so that we can ground our ideas in the research and in the innovations in the field. That's the direction of Module 1. Here's some directions that will be true for all modules that you'll want to follow beginning at Module 1. On the right-hand side of the Module 1 website, you're seeing this video. On the left-hand side, you see a document that when you open it is called Activities and Assignments. I would like for you, every module, to read through that entire document. Maybe look into the hyperlinks, see what's included. Read all the way down through all of the activities, including the formative assessment. Read the formative assessment first so that you get a really big feel for how the practice and the reading and the conversations are intended to lead you to the target. The target and the formative assessment are aligned. My largest wish is that the structure of this course is a model for mastery learning. and that the process, even though it's in an online format, which is a little new for us, that the process of the way that this course is structured is also a model for you of standards-based grading and learning and mastery learning, so that we're practicing what we preach and you're seeing and experiencing an example of it from the student perspective, even as you're a teacher. So read all of the directions for Module 1 all the way through all of the directions for the formative assessment, and then go back and start working through them. There will be the same pattern every week to try to maintain some consistency. The first activity is that you'll have some reading to do in the texts, and they should look like this. These are the two main core texts for the books. We're not reading them in order. We're reading them based on how they support the learning target that we're working on. So interact with the text based on the guiding questions. The guiding questions will also be the basis of our optional Zoom meetings, and those Zoom meeting times and a link to those meetings is now in the updated syllabus that's also linked on the website. So you'll do some reading and some thinking. It will guide you step by step through the activities on that activities and assessment sheet. After the readings, there will be something called a read around. In addition to the readings in the text, I've pulled some articles on best practice and put them in the read around folder. You're going to use those to develop the summative assessment, which I'll let you read about. It's on the website. The summative assessment asks you to really communicate to an audience the why and the what and the how behind standards-based grading. You get to determine that, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in an updated video that I'll send out a little bit later next week. But complete the read around, and then after you've completed the read around, there's an activity that asks you to interact with some thinking partners using the Voxer app. If you haven't already downloaded Voxer, download Voxer. I'm working on creating some thinking partner groups. I pushed out a link to some phone numbers for those of you who have sent them, and some optional groups. This is a really small course, so if you want to rearrange yourselves because you know folks in the class, or you want to just relink with someone who you know or who you connect with, I'm totally okay with that. Make sure that I am included on those Vox groups. You'll be asked to create a group in Voxer. It's like a group chat. You'll add each other's phone numbers and mine, and then there will be what I call a Vox Rocks activity where I ask you to engage with each other in some of the ideas. That's how I'm helping us have some interconnectedness in this course, is through the Voxer, so that we can talk to you. And then there'll be directions for the formative assessment that actually links its way through all week. I'm hoping that those patterns are consistent. We'll open conversations in Voxer. We'll have conversations in shared documents. We'll have some optional Zoom meetings. And please, if those times don't work for you and you're still feeling connecting in that format is important, let me know. I'm happy to do some optional ones. I just needed to kind of make a decision and settle to help us move forward. Module 1 is the most thin content of the course. The content and the reading and the thinking and the writing will really start picking up in Module 2. Although I put myself on a schedule and I will be reading and responding to student work on a pattern, if you would like to jump into Module 2 before the end of the first week, please feel free. Again, Module 1 is a little thinner. It'll probably take you fewer days to move through it. And if you feel like you want to begin bringing in some of the work and the reading for Module 2, feel free. We're roughly a week aligned by module. Module 1 is 1 week, Module 2 is 1 week, and there's a 5th week at the end to work on the summative assessment. But we're building some of these instructional planes as we fly, and I want to be able to be responsive to the learning needs that you have and give you tips for moving forward. So I'm excited to see you online. I will touch base with you throughout the week regarding Target 1, where we look at the importance of creating a standards-based learning environment with mastery. Nice to see you.